With me to discuss that, from Los Angeles, Ira Mehlman, Media Director for the Federation for American Immigration Reform. And from Washington, Hubben Hassan, Civil Rights Coordinator for the Council on American Islamic Relations. Thank you both very much for joining us. Mr. Mehlman, let me start with you. Do we need to target these 115,000 Middle Easterners here illegally?
We need to find all the people who are in the country illegally, but particularly we should be looking at those people who come from countries that have shown they have a history of sending people to the United States who mean to do us real harm. This is a very significant threat to our national security. As we found out on September 11th, these are countries in the Middle East that have a history of supporting terrorism. And as we found in September, it only takes 19 people to pull off a great catastrophe. And so certainly we cannot expect to have security from terrorism if we can't even control who is coming into our country, and we can't find those people once they get here.
Hubben Hassan, why doesn't that make sense? I mean, if we know where these terrorists came from, and we know which countries in particular have a unique hatred for the United States, why shouldn't those countries be singled out when it comes to illegal immigrants?
Well, for several reasons. Number one, it's never been a policy that's been effective to single out people based solely on their national origin.
But why isn't it different now? Why haven't things changed?
Well, things haven't changed. The vast majority of people from the Arab countries or Muslim countries that are living in the U.S. are not or have not been shown to be members of terrorist groups. So it's blatantly unfair to single out one group of people. If the issue is deporting illegal immigrants or those who haven't shown up for their court dates, then I think that it should be applied across the board. It should be applied to all illegal immigrants, not only those from Muslim or Arab countries.
You got to start somewhere, though, right? I mean, there's no way we're going to be able to find 8.5 million people by next year, for example. Why isn't Mr. Mehlman right that if we have to start somewhere, we might as well start with people from countries that we know have a hatred towards the United States?
Well,
and that's an overstatement because countries don't have a state.
Exactly. I think it's an overstatement. I think he said in his opening statement that countries that send people do the harm. But if we look at the 19 hijackers, number one, 16 out of the 19 were here legally. The 3 who were here illegally. I mean, I think what you're seeing is not a failure of the immigration system, but what you're seeing is a failure of information gathering and information sharing.
Go ahead, Mr. Mehlman. First of all, they were all here illegally. Some of them entered legally and remained after their status. But I think it's important to remember here that we're not targeting people simply because they come from the Middle East. We are targeting these people because they are here illegally. They have violated their immigration status here in the United States, either by entering illegally or by coming in on some kind of visa and not going home when they were supposed to. And as you point out, it makes perfect sense to start with people who are most likely to cause trouble here in the United States, who have shown that from this part of the world there is a hatred of the United States and there is a propensity to want to do damage here.
Ms. Hassan, I've only got 15 seconds. Final word.
Well, as I said before, it is not the American way to single out people based only on their origins. I think if we want to fight terrorism, I think we need to work with the communities that best would be able to help us. And by isolating a whole community based only on where they're from, I think we do a lot more harm than good.
I think you're right that we need to work with the communities, but the question is when it comes to illegal immigrants. But this is a debate we're going to continue to have, and I hope you both come back on the program. Thanks very much.
Thank you very
Appreciate
much.
it.